Do it. Do it. Look at me. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Come on. Do it now.
I will personally write you a campaign check now on behalf of this country, which does not want you to be president, but which badly wants you to run.
Please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore.
Foolish, Kamala. Foolish. Kamala Harris seems like she's not ready to throw in the towel yet, okay? Apparently she didn't suffer enough of a shellacking. Okay, the landslide didn't quite bury her deep enough because she believes she's going to be able to dig herself up out of this hole and run for either governor in 2026 against Gavin Newsom out there in wokety woke behind California, or she plans to try to run for president again, most likely against J.D. Vance or someone who is even better than J.D. Vance, which would be crazy. So you know the Republicans group is a strong group. Don't forget, you got people like Tulsi Gabbard, you have Vivek Ramaswamy, you got wild cards, which hopefully this never happens, but you still got Nikki Haley out there somewhere in the wild, right? And countless other people who we don't even know about yet. Like, and then don't forget Byron Donalds, Ron DeSantis could run again, right? There's a lot of strong people on the GOP side. But Kamala Harris also has to get past the people on her own side. So she has to get past people like Gavin Newsom, the Buttigieg, right? The Whitmer, right? Tim Walz might decide that he's going to run, right? He might say, hey, look, I was trying to be her VP, but her record, realistically, if we want to keep it a buck, her record as VP was ass. Okay, he might decide to just keep it real. He might turn into based Tim Walz instead of weirdo spirit hands Tim Walz. Okay, but look, Benny Johnson, okay, based Benny Johnson was out here clowning with Wesley Hunt discussing this topic.
If you did this, you might persuade Kamala Harris to never run again. Yet here's news from this morning. Kamala Harris 2028. Kamala Harris telling her team to prepare as she sets her sights on the White House again.
Please, God, this is true. Please, God, let this happen.
Okay. Yeah, your reactions, Congressman.
I pray to God this happens. They're going to have a mess. If you look at our bench is very deep. I think President Trump is going to do very well for the next 4 years. He's going to hand this off to leaders of the future. We have a very, very deep bench, and they have absolutely nobody. Look, bring it on. Please let her run again. I want her to run every 4 years, and I pray that she is their nominee because we're going to have a bonanza on our side if she keeps running.
I got to tell you, man. Donald Trump's spokesperson, Stephen Chung, he said Kamala just ain't built for this life, and we have our first photo of Kamala Harris.
She ain't about that life, man.
She ain't about that life. We have our first photo of Kamala Harris. I'm not sure this was a vacation in Hawaii, or something. Her and Doug. I don't know, man. I don't know. They're looking rough. I think this took it out of them, and only a 100-day campaign. Okay, I know. But she ain't about that life. Clearly,
she's not.
These guys are right. This will be a complete farce. This will be a travesty. This would be the perfect example of why the Democrats would deserve to lose if they even allowed Kamala even a fair shot at this, because she had her fair shot. She basically was pretty much given, well, she literally was given the VP position, but she was pretty much like they threw her into the position with no primary to become the presidential nominee for the Democrats, the presidential nominee for the biggest office in the United States. And she still failed. Now she would have to do all of the work herself. And Kamala Harris isn't a worker to begin with, so she doesn't stand a damn chance. I'm going to show you another clip here where the folks at News Nation are basically roasting her for this.
Of what the future of the party looks like. There's some talk Kamala Harris is telling her advisors to keep her options open. Do we see a resurgence of her in 2028, or does she choose a different path? Some of the things we're hearing, possible gubernatorial run in California. What are you hearing, and is it too soon?
It's way too soon.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing that troubles me about Kamala Harris and that Politico story that reported that this morning is, okay, maybe she'll run for governor of California. Maybe she'll run for president again. I still don't know what she stands for, which is part of the reason that she lost. You know, the campaign did not have a message that connected with voters. There was a lack of authenticity. There was a lack of knowing what her policy platform was until it was far too late. And so I think that if she and her advisors right now are thinking about which office she's going to run for again, then they missed the mark and they're completely losing the lesson of this election, and they've got a lot of introspection to do.
There's a lot of names about who got paid this, who got paid that, and a lot of people got rich on the back of donors trying to stop Trump. And I think this disqualifies her forever. If you can't run a campaign, you can't run America. And that would be the argument just day one. I told you, I told everybody, she should not have been the nominee. She was not going to win, and she didn't win, and she lost badly. So she's got to go figure out her life. She's in Hawaii. Tim Walz was at the dinner. She was in Hawaii. So she's having a call with donors this week. They tell me about her political future. I don't think she has a political future.
Now, I know they said things like it's too soon to call and all of this stuff. I mean, sure, this is just speculatory, but I think we need to go ahead and nip this in the bud right now because Kamala Harris is not a strong candidate, okay? She's not good. I could see if there was like somebody like Obama or Whitmer is not a strong candidate, but in my opinion, she's stronger than Kamala Harris, right? Buttigieg isn't a strong candidate, but in my opinion, he's much stronger than Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris went up against these people. Don't forget, Kamala went against these people before, some of them, like Buttigieg, and she was out first. Buttigieg outlasted her. Biden outlasted her. Sanders outlasted her. So Kamala Harris is literally the weakest link in the Democrat Party right now. So I'm going to go ahead and react to Fox News going in on her and roasting the hell out of her for even allowing this to leak, whatever the hell way that this leaked from some staffers or whatever the hell this came from. Foolish. Stupid, Kamala. Let's get into it.
Well, some Democrats are calling for new leadership in the wake of President-elect Trump and Republicans wins this election. But Vice President Harris does not appear ready to step aside. Some Republicans are thrilled. According to Politico, quote, Harris is telling her advisors and allies to keep her political options open. She could run again for president or California governor. But as the VP tries to figure out her next steps, fellow Democrats are trying to identify just where they missed the mark this election.
One area where we kind of lost ourselves was the border. It can't be controversial for our party to be pro-immigration, but we need a secure border. And when we ask or demand people to not believe what they see and see those kind of numbers that's not a problem, it's like, well, then you lose.
So I know, well, first off, Fetterman's right. Secondly, you should have been saying that during the election, not after. You could have helped the Democrats win. Third, why the hell does he always look like he's in a dungeon? This has got to be like at his house. But what part of your house look like this, bro? Like, it look like you need to call a mason or something to go ahead and fix these damn bricks, because I'm worried about you, bro. I don't want the damn thing to cave in on you, my G.
About that, 100%.
The Democrats, since NAFTA, workers have drifted away from the Democratic Party. I think we've drifted away as a party.
I do think the Democratic Party has to recognize the challenge we have, which is for too many millions of battleground voters, working people, they don't think we represent them. Look, I think the entire
They don't think anything. You don't represent them. That's the problem.
Democratic Party bears the responsibility, myself included, and the former president.
Paul, I think those are all very fair points. You'll never hear me say that about Adam Schiff, but I'll say that today. But is there going to be this true postmortem, this existential crisis analysis among Democrats?
No. And here's why I believe that they are not capable of doing this, because that party has ideologically been captured by the campus elites, and they became a party of boutique issues that only make sense on the campuses. The problem for them is that these sort of university elites that control the narrative of the people who end up in most of media. And consequently, it's going to be very, very hard for them to walk away from that messaging to try to come back to a place where the Republicans already are. They have to occupy a space now where Trumpism sits. You know, for years we've been hearing there needs to be a third party, needs to be a third party. The Republicans made themselves the third party. And so as a result, it's going to be tough for them to sort of segue that way.
To James Carville, who was very bullish on Kamala winning, obviously didn't happen. He had something to say about where Democrats go from here. He said, showcase the talent we have. I would have a mini convention in 2026. I would invite people to someplace convenient, invite some of the staggering talent to give speeches to show people, let people see, let ideas permeate, but see who can carry the message of the party. Kennedy, I bring this up because I don't think, look, what
I'm going to tell you right now, getting more people to speak is cool and all, but what they really need to do is have strong Democrat governors, strong mayors, and otherwise, like whatever position that it is, in strong Democrat congressional members who have common sense and lead effectively and have a strong, good common sense record. Otherwise, all of the talk and BS in the world is not gonna work, okay? You have to get in there and don't just be anti-Trump everything, because that is not enough. That did not work. At least for the presidential position, it did not. So it's not going to work again to be anti-J.D. Vance in the future, or anti-Ron DeSantis, or whomever. You have to lead effectively first. Otherwise, you end up doing a Kamala and falling flat on your face.
Wes Moore, talented communicator. Josh Shapiro, talented communicator. I don't think a new communicator is enough. They need to shift this message. This was a wipeout. Donald Trump won the popular vote.
They have to stop listening to James Carville for advice. You know, he's great when he's being Cassandra and he's giving negative analysis on the Democrat Party because he's one of the few people who is actually telling the truth. But it's not just the messenger. And that's the problem that they have. It's these ideas. It's the fact that she was asked repeatedly, and it's not just her. I mean, it was everyone around her from the Biden camp and the Obama camp giving her horrible advice. Right. Because, you know, how many whacks at the piñata did she have when she was asked, what would you do differently? And she couldn't name anything. I mean, not only was it preposterous and incompetent, it's also insulting to voters who don't have any money. They don't have any disposable income at all whatsoever. But what he's talking about, the mini primary, that's what they wanted to do when Biden resigned. But instead, you know, Biden stepped out in front of it, stepped in it, and named her as a de facto nominee. So they were stuck with her. So the party obviously has warring factions. They're not going to be...
So I want to point this out because I don't think anybody is really pointing this out. They could have said, like, any Democrat could have said, hey, we need to have a primary. We need to do it now. We need to do it fast. Anybody could have said that. That was in Democrat leadership. They didn't say it. They didn't try. They just let Joe Biden just throw Kamala Harris out there to the wolves to be devoured, eaten alive. And they didn't say anything because they're retarded. They could have said, hey, let's do the primary. Obama did that. Okay, the little bit of integrity that he had left, he tried to do it, but then he caved along with the rest of the radical leftists. They could have had the primary. They could have had a stronger candidate. They could have won. But no, they were foolish, just like Kamala Harris for even bringing up this stupid idea of hopes and dreams of trying to win this thing again. It's never going to happen.
Well, to get together anytime soon. And I agree with Paul on that it's going to take a lot more than, you know, the moderate pearl clutching they're doing right now to have a meaningful change.
Emily, there are 6 words that Kamala has been communicating to allies on the phone from Hawaii, and it is, I am staying in the fight. Okay, she loves the word fight, but staying in the fight, I mean, you lost. I think a lot of Republicans would say, yeah, we hope you're the nominee.
Facts.
Because you lost and you'll probably lose again.
I say go ahead and do it, Kamala. I'd love to see you get cooked again. I know you cried on election night. That's why you didn't come out and give a speech on election night. You had to wait till the next day, and you look drunk to me. Okay, I talked to a lot of people, and they said that you looked like you was drunk.
To the young people who are watching, it is okay to feel sad and disappointed. But please know it's going to be okay. On the campaign, I would often say, when we fight, we win. But here's the thing. Sometimes the fight takes a while. That doesn't mean we won't win.
It is now official. CNN projects that Donald Trump has been elected president, defeating Vice President Kamala Harris.
You know what would be glorious? Tulsi Gabbard, Republican nominee, Kamala Harris, Democrat nominee, these two going toe-to-toe, and Tulsi Gabbard then clapping them cheeks again, beating her ass down. Elbow drop her ass. Elbow drop that ass again. That would be freaking glorious, but those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Don't ever stop trying to make the world a better place.
Make me laugh. You will never win.